Happy New Year. Put this minibus, because it's been collected.
Yeah.
Where do you want it? Because I don't want to be calling me up saying you need to move it. And a van. Yes, you heard me right. Lee's bought a van. Let's see if she fires up. Oh, does she balls? Morning all. Welcome back to the channel. You join me Thursday morning. We're off to the auction to, well, hopefully buy a couple of items, a couple of Igos in particular, and also a couple of cars for a customer of mine. And we're also going to be collecting my big van, which I saw before. I think some of you saw before Christmas. A little minibus conversion thing. I need to get that out on the front because that's being picked up. Because I've sold that on, and then we need to get back to the unit and give you a progress report about what's been happening this week, what's sold, etc. And see what things are like down there. By the looks of it, pretty snowy. Today's weapon of choice, bit of an easy one, the company Igo, because I don't think my other car, which is rear-wheel drive, is probably the best of vehicles to be driving in the snow in today. Although it will be quite fun, but could be quite expensive if we crash, which is probably quite likely in the snow we've got today. So we're in the company Igo, which, in fairness, I love an Igo, as we all know. I sell that many of them. Ours is still soldiering on, 130 or 40,000 miles, something ridiculous. Still drives like brand spanking new. Actually went to Bedford in this, to G3, the other day, which James from Chops Garage was very impressed with. Very cheap motor in, works every time, starts up on the button. She's defrosted. Let's get in her and get ourselves down to Aston Barclay. See how cheery the gate man is today. Right, we're here at Aston Barclay. Gate man is not present, he's left his post. Very cold today. I was at the auction the other day at Bedford, G3, and that was cold. It's not as cold as it is here. As my brother once told me once when he came here, he said, Prees is where the cold comes to die. I'm not kidding, it's about -2 today. Anyway, let's go have a look at some vehicles.
So I'm mainly looking at Igos today, and sort of medium stuff like Focuses and i30s, because we haven't got any. So we've seen this i30, it's a bit mileagey, but it's cheap. It's done 117,000, which is, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'd rather it be 98,000, but it is what it is. But it's a facelift i30, it's in a nice colour, it's got a half decent report on it, but it's got a low fluid level, which doesn't worry me too much. It's 117,000 miles, it's 2 former keepers. It's a clean car, other than wanting a mirror cap covered painting. Now, it's only booking it the best part of like 1,400 quid on a 64 plate, clean. So for that sort of level, it's a cheap car. It'll look very cheap on the pitch, and Hyundais can do big miles. And it's not ideal, you know, it'd be better if it's a bit low on the mileage because it will put a lot of people off. But there is a market for that sort of under 3 grand 64 plate car that's got years of life left in it for someone. So that is a potential one for today. There is some Igos somewhere. I've found one before, but it's an automatic, so we've got no chance of buying that, 60k on. But there is a couple other ones, and that's really what I'm sort of after today. I'm just hunting around trying to find these Igos I saw online last night. I've just found this. Didn't notice this on the catalogue last night, I must have missed it. Dacia Duster 1.5 diesel on a 64. It's not booking it a lot, this. I mean, to be fair, they always do more than book these. Clean 1,700 quid, average 1,300 quid, below average 8. It ain't going to do 800 quid. It's got one former keeper, it's done 89,000 with a clean report. It's going to do clean money, even if it isn't technically clean on the bodywork, which in fairness, so far it looks like it is, other than the wheels wanting repainting, but they're just old-fashioned steel wheels, you just paint with some nice wheel silver. That looks a clean old bus. 1.5 diesel, it's pretty decent. There's a little scuff down that bumper. That's not much really, so you're not looking at a great deal of prep there. I don't know, I'd be tempted at that because I've watched Tri-Duster, sold loads of Sanderos, done with Ed Welvin. In fact, they've got one at the uni now we're doing up, a diesel one. I'd be tempted to have a go at that sort of money, because that is retailing at 3,295 quid. I think that's a lot of car for that, a little crossover. So we'll have a look at that. There's a potential one for us. Right, at long last I found the Igos, well, one Igo and 107 all the same. A couple of 5-door ones, 12 plates and 13 plates. These are sort of 1.5 to 2 grand territory trade, sort of 3 grand retail, maybe a bit more if they're a bit low mileage. Usually the Igos do a bit better because of the badge. Not that it makes any difference, they're all the same car, but you'd be amazed why the Igo seems to cap more than a Peugeot. Identical year, identical mileage. So we'll see what these go through, and I'll let you know in a minute. Hopefully we can win a couple of those as well.
Right, so we've got quite a few to be getting on with there today, and also spotted as well early doors a Audi A3. Bit high mileage, done about 130, but I do alright with Audi diesels and Volkswagen diesels. You seem to get away with high mileage, and it fits at that price point around the 3ish grand mark. So possibly have a look at one of those, and also seen a Twingo, which again I didn't see on the catalogue last night, but very bright thing, and it's not booking at a lot. And I always get asked for small Renaults, Twingos that will fly out. So possibly, yeah, 4 or 5 maybe today we'll go look at. Now, I'm not filming it in the auction hall today because I haven't got permission at this branch at the moment. We need to sort that out. And also, I need to be focusing on what I'm buying. I'm also buying some cars today for someone else, so I need to be on the ball. So I'll catch up with you shortly, and we'll see what we won, hopefully. And we'll go and dig out that van as well. It's in the yard, because gate man's moaning like about that one. And then get back to the unit and see what's going on there. Right. Auction is pretty much over. A few cars left, but nothing of interest to me. How have I got on? Well, actually, I'm okay. I wouldn't say brilliant. First of all, start with the IGOs, because they're the usual thing you expect me to buy. Didn't win either of them. They did strong money. So the purple one, he did a clutch, which doesn't phase us that much because we do loads of them. But obviously you have to bear in mind. And it did slightly over cap clean for it. So yeah, I didn't buy that one. Mileage was 47,000, that was the attractive thing on that, and it would have sat about 3.5 grand, which is, so if I've got one identical but a new shape 108 for about £400 more on sale, I know which one looks better value, so I decided to skip that. And the white IGO was really badly flooded in the boot, which is common on those. We usually fix them up, well, we always fix them up. And yeah, that he did 1,500 quid, and that one came first, so I basically was restricting myself a little bit to try and buy the purple one. So I didn't win either of them in the end. My plan backfired. Never mind. But I did win the Dacia Duster. First Dacia Duster I've bought for the pitch. 1.5 diesel. Give a couple of grand for it, which is pretty much cap clean. Is it clean? Pretty nearly. Once a bumper corner doing. So yeah, it's pretty much there. Sorry about that. Trying to not get the sun in the picture. I see that 3.5 grand retail. So, you know, we've got fees on top. We'll ultimately have VAT on that to pay when we sell it, the margin, and prep. There'll be some prep on it. You can rest assured of that. Every car needs prep. But there'll still probably just be the right margin for us on that. And I've never sold a Duster. Do quite well, like I said, with the other Dacias, so we'll go on with that one. We also won the very, very bright Twingo. That wasn't cheap at all. It's going to be about 1,100 quid with the fees. But it looks like a 2695 car. It's very bright. Didn't look like it needed much doing, so I'm relatively pleased with the Twingo. Let's say it wasn't a massively cheap car, and I did give us slightly more for it, mainly because of the colour. I know it will sell 26.95 roughly, somewhere around there, maybe 27.50 for it. It'll look very bright at the gate, cheap little first car, and I've got one in the corner, a spares one, which I was going to scrap actually this week. I was going to dig it out and scrap it, but I don't need to now. I can keep that in the corner and use any bits off this one, mainly like trim and plastic bits, odd things on Twingos, because they're a little bit generic. They've got some Clio bits on and some sort of generic bits. So we've got a spares car there. We can make the car good and then scrap the other one off. So we get one on sale and get rid of one out the corner. So that's a good result. Didn't get anywhere with my Hyundai, my i30. That did silly money, and didn't get anywhere else with the others either. Right, so those of you who want aware, I bought this before Christmas. I did do a video on it, as you can see here, and it's just a cheapy little minibus converted. Well, it's a minibus. It's been panel van that's been converted to a minibus, and it's got seats in it, tables and stuff. Might make a good camper conversion for someone. Yeah, it's all right. It's a nice little thing, and I've got a buyer for it already. So I just need to get it out on the front so they can come and collect it. So I know it wasn't dear. It was about 1,100 quid, 1,150 quid or something like that with the fees. It has got a little misfire on it, the injector, common 2.2 diesel. They always seem to do that on these. But the guy who's having it doesn't care. He knows what's wrong with it. He's going to put it probably in a salvage auction, I imagine, because that's what he does. His business. He buys stuff and puts them into auctions and makes good money out of them. So there'll be someone else out there who will probably want to buy this online and make it into, well, either use it as a minibus or use it for some other purpose or convert it. Like I said, you've got you're not halfway there, but you've got the sides in and stuff like that. It could easily be converted into a camper van of some description. I say a wheelchair pod there as well. Oh, on a 60 plate, done 116,000 miles. Should be paperwork down there in a minute. Radio 2 on, Put that on mute a minute. Don't need Jeremy Vine just this moment. Let's see if she fires up. Oh, does she balls? I'd have to jump back in the car as well. Never mind. Right, the mighty JS 2000. There he is, top man. There's no doubt have a pop of me about this minibus, I bet you. Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
How are you, sir?
You bought much?
All right, here, free.
Oh, that's good, that's very good.
The minibus won't start.
Oh, dear.
I'm going to jump back out.
Oh, you definitely need to get your top Dom JS 200 out.
Well, I thought that's why I'm going to go get it now. Now, I won't put this minibus, but it's been collected.
Yeah.
Where do you want it? Because I don't want to be calling me up saying you need to move it.
Back him against this fence here.
Righto.
Back him in.
Right, well, I'll go get it then.
Okay.
What a bloody ball like this is turning out to be. Went to pull the bonnet catch and that snapped straight off for the frost, so that's a good start. So I couldn't use the jump points, but they've got a battery in the middle of these, so I've just pulled the bloody floor up with me fingernails. Let's see if we can get the old top Don on her. This is the VS 2000, which is an early version of the jump packs JS 2000s. This would be the point I'd use to say, there you go, put these jump packs in the link description, buy one. I'm not going to say yet to tell you to buy one because they'll be on offer in a week or two. So I shall save you a bit of money by putting the advert for these and the links and stuff in one of next week's videos when they're on offer. So yeah, if you're interested in one, they're about 75 quid, the 2000s, and then the other ones are about 59.99, the 1500s, both brilliant. But they're going down about 15-20% in a week or so, so save yourself some money. Anyway, let's get this jumped up and hopefully pass the gate man. Wow. Well, what a faff that was. I had to use the torch on the mighty machine to get underneath there to get the positive lead on. Few goes with the glow plugs and we got there in the end. As you can hear, she's got a little bit of a beat. But it revs up alright, but it's only on idle. It's that's an injector. 2.2 diesels, very common. Which isn't actually a massive fix to do, you just need to put another injector in. Well, I assume it's just one, it might be two, but it sounds just like the one injector. A little bit of smoke out of her as well. Anyway, don't worry about that, we sold her! Not have much luck here. Wipers probably a frozen solid. I'm now having to, I haven't got any de-icer, so I'm now having to use the old fashioned method, a scraper. Which I haven't got a proper scraper, so I've broke out my old E111 card for my health insurance. Managed to defrost it a little bit, got myself a little porthole. It doesn't drive that bad, this. When it's off idle, the injector's fine and it's pulling alright. It's just at idle. And it's getting warm, it's actually getting better because obviously, well, when injectors get warm, they usually sort of behave themselves a bit more. But yeah, definitely an injector issue. But like I said, it doesn't really make a difference to us because I've sold it. It's always nice to know because it's not a difficult fix for someone really. It's a shame that someone's binned it off for something straightforward as that because there's only a few £100 to have that fixed, even at a garage. Anyway, right, we're here. Let's see if we can squeeze past and park this thing up. Where's he gone? He'll be banging his post again. Oh, you're here. What are you doing there? Bit of moonlighting. Well, I got some most of it off. It was a bit of a challenge and get it jump started, but I got there in the end.
Oh, that's marvellous. It's a fair rate buzz.
It is.
So we can get it going a bit better.
Well, I've sold it, so it doesn't really matter. No. That's the next person's problem. Right, so we park it on this back fence, yeah?
Yes. And then straight home to the nearest care home, I think.
Yeah? Well, yeah, we're going to get a few elderlies in here with all these seats and that. Well, that's it, yeah, and that's what I'm going to start doing now. I'm not going to start selling cars now, I'm just going to do a bit of care in the community.
Do some taxi runs.
Yeah, I'm going to do them later.
Yeah.
Uber. Ta-da. Oh, he's in a cheery mood, expecting to bite my head off. He's been moaning like hell to my members of staff about this minibus being in the way. Right, you join me a couple of days later. I didn't have a chance to film in between. It's been absolutely chaos here. Mainly down to the weather. It's not the best. I'm sure you're all experiencing it. It's well, it's still -1 today and it was -2 yesterday, even at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, which means we're faced with this. Yeah, completely solid, frozen up cars, frozen pitch. I hate it when it's like this. Honestly, I'd take the rain over this any day of the week. This is just a nightmare. Because, well, it's just like having rain, because no one turns up on the pitch for a start. Who wants to come and view cars in this weather? Although saying that, we've actually had inquiries and sold some cars, but there's mainly been over the phone. Yeah, it's just not good selling weather like this. It's all, no one wants to come out, everything's slippery, everything's frozen up, it takes an hour to defrost everything. Oh, it's just been a horrible last 48 hours, it really has. I'm glad when the weather's going to change. Hopefully then on Monday morning it's supposed to be better next week. But we have made some developments. I'll give you an update where we're at. So first of all, I'll show you something that's missing. It looks like we're not made any progress and there's still cars everywhere. What we've done is we've got rid of some cars that needed going and replaced them with cars that we bought in to sell. Hopefully can sell next week. The white Merc, which was there, is now gone. White Merc's gone. No, it hasn't gone and sold. It's gone to have the timing chain done. Finally, it's been gone to have the timing chain done. It only took about 4 or 5 months to actually find someone who was willing to do it after being let down on numerous occasions. So it's now gone off locally to have that done. So it's been loaded up, as you can see here, and sent away. So hopefully next week we should have that back. And the plan is, I think, I'm not 100% sure yet, once we've got it back and I've prepped it for the workshop again, is likely to make that a competition prize. I think we're going to run with that, which was the C180 Merc petrol. So 1.8 turbos, I think, in them. I think the early one's supercharged, the later one's turbocharged. So we're going to hopefully get that back, all driving lovely, and then we'll mint it up, and then I'll make the decision then if we're going to make that a competition car. Literally just throw some tickets out, a couple of quid, £1, £2, whatever it'll be. I'll work out the numbers, and hopefully we can raise a bit of money as well for charity. We can make a bit of splash for charity, and obviously we can have a chance of winning the little C180. Anyway, we'll come back to that, because like I said, I've not 100% made the decision, because it all depends on when we minted it up, what it looks like, because I'll make sure I'm giving you something decent. So sale-wise, last couple of days, actually we have sold some cars. We've been doing quite well on the old C1 Igo front, as always. We have sold, I mean, I'm going to show you the car, but you can it's covered in ice, like, so it's not probably the best of pictures. But the C1, the white one, which should have been on sale for about 48 hours, that has now got a deposit on it. That's done. We've also sold a silver 107, which you probably haven't seen before. Probably will have some picture by now of it here. Hopefully when it's back in a few days' time, and I've edited it in. It came in. That was a purchase I bought locally, and we've sold that to a chap on the phone as well. Hence why we sell these, these Igos 107s dead quick. Unless they're yellow, not having much look on the yellow one. Yellow and red seem to be the bad colour for these Igos and 107s. But we are getting interest on it, and it's the cheapest one on the pitch at the moment. So I'm sure if someone can get past the colour, they'll buy it. I quite like it, but others, I can see why others might not. Mariva's back. I think we mentioned that before. That is now on the Facebook page as well, so that's going to be sold. We've also bought a few bits in. I bought a van in, which I'll show you in a minute, and a Hyundai, although I've got a chap here at the minute. Let me just go see what he's after. Well, thought I was in for a sale then, but no, he's in the wrong place, the guy. He wants to be next door. Anyway, where were we up to? Buying. Yes, I've been buying cars as well, obviously. Let me show you what I have been buying. So obviously we've been buying the two from earlier, you've probably seen in the video, the cars from auction. We actually had 3 down, but one of them's provisional, and I think we might not be getting that now, but I'll talk about them in a minute and give you the invoicing on those. But on the last 48 hours I've also bought a white Hyundai, was very cheap, we'll talk about that in a sec, and a van. Yes, you heard me right, Lee's bought a van. I'm not a big buyer of vans. I was saying that I used to buy quite a few before COVID, but since then it's been a nightmare trying to buy vans, and I'm not always a great fan of having vans on the pitch here, to be honest. In fact, it's the first one we've ever had retailed. But anyway, I bought it because, well, it was good value, it was low mileage. That's the key to this van. Well, the first idea was, we make a good competition vehicle because it's 16 plate, so it's Euro 6 compliant. When she does come up Euro 6, and yeah, make a great competition vehicle. So that was the idea behind buying it, and it was, like I said, it was handy money. But it didn't turn out to be the case. But I still bought it anyway, because it is still a very, very cheap van for what it was. It's only done 31,000 miles on a 16 plate, it's a 1.6 HDI diesel. It's actually an ex-airport vehicle, so it works at the airport. Belonged to Ryanair, who then disposed of it, went to a dealer, and then the dealer sold it to a detailer, lives around the corner, and now he needs to basically sell the vehicle because he's got a house deposit to pay for next week. So he was in a bit of a sort of a catch-22 where he didn't really want to give it up, but he needed to buy his house. So he came and asked me. He's probably been to God knows how many dealers beforehand, because I noticed on the searches someone had been checking it at other places. Yeah, he would basically just want to try and get the best price for it. So I eventually struck up a deal with him, and he was reasonably happy with the outcome of it on his hours. So I say it's a clean old van. It's got a little tiny car park ding there, which I'm going to get the dent man on. But the rest of it's really good. He's obviously been a detailer, so he's redone all the wheels, he's buffed the brains out of it. Not quite sure I can see inside of the... No, thought the door might be frozen up. He has put some very strange seat covers in. Drives mint. Like I say, he's only 31,000, 5-speed manual, good engines, the old 1.6 HDIs. Only thing other needs as well is I need to order a light, just going to do that in a minute. That one's cracked and someone's put a bit of sellotape on it. But other than that, it's a clean old bus. 31,000 miles. You don't see low mileage vans like that. Sadly, the reason why I'm not going to use it as a competition prize, because I thought it would make a good one, because how handy is it to have a little van and stuff? I think people would be interested in buying a van or having a go at trying to win a van for a pound or two. But it's Euro 6B compliant, which basically means it's not Euro 6 compliant. It must be a pre-registered van, this, because I assumed that anything 15 onwards would be Euro 6, but this is Euro 6B, means you can't drive it in London without paying the charge, so it's not probably ideal vehicle for a competition prize, but it is still a van, and the market around where I am, and most of the country, is still decent for it to retail. Obviously vans are still worth money, you just got to make sure you're buying the right type of year of van, depending on where you live, but they say there's a big market for that. It's got a massive retail on it. The retail on it's stupid, it's like nearly 7 grand or something ridiculous. Not going up for 7 grand. The reason it's not going to go up for 7 grand is because, one, I got it cheaper than I thought, so I'm happy to pass that discount on. But also, even though it's done 31,000 miles, because it's an ex-airport, it's got no service history. The mileage is genuine, and you can tell it's done 31,000 miles, and there's no discrepancies or anything like that on what we've got to go with it. But because I haven't got a nice book with lots of stamps in, you can't ask for the top money for it, because the first question someone's going to ask is, has it got any service history? And I'm going to have to say, no, hasn't got any service history. It's been an airport vehicle running around Manchester or Bristol Airport or Leeds Bradford or wherever it's come from. So what we're going to do to it is mint it up, obviously, put a counterbalance water pump on it. It may have been done, we don't know, because these have been probably maintained by their own companies, but we'll check it. If it needs doing, we'll do it. And then service the brains out of it, do all the PDIing, and then sell it accordingly. We'll stick it up at 4,995. If you want to go and buy one that's done 30,000 miles with full history, go and pay 7 grand. If you want to go and buy one that is 30,000 miles, which we've maintained and done all the work on and made sure it's right, and want to save a big chunk of money, and you're not too bothered about the fact that service history is non-existent because it's probably been maintained by internally in-house, then you've got a big saving to add. Though I'm sure there'll be someone for a cheap van. So that's what the plan is for that. It'll be the first van on the pitch, and we'll see how we go with it. The other vehicle we have purchased is is another walk-in actually. A little Hyundai, it's an estate, Hyundai 30 estate diesel. Came in, to be honest with you, the people who came in with this, who were from Hong Kong, I was a bit sort of umming and ahhing about it. Basically they just got another car and they've just been bid right in the bollocks on the price, on the Part X, which is a policy that I was looking to take this year, and so far I've not started off very well, but I still seem to be paying more than probably I should do on reflection. But at the end of the day, we're still selling stuff and making money, so that's the main thing. Now this one's a 1.6 diesel. They did make 1.6 and 1.7 Hyundai diesel engines. This is the earlier 1.6, which is a good engine actually, and it's a bit mileagey, but it was very cheap. It wasn't a lot. It was less than £1,000, which it was about like 925 quid we ended up paying for it, something like that. Just what a little bit of work, but it's done about 130,000 miles. I think it's on 3.6. I think it's done, which is a bit mileagey. But it is diesel, and I do all right still, even with some mileagey diesel stuff, because obviously the price accordingly, people will still buy them, and the perception of diesels that they'll go on and do quite a bit of miles. So I've had Golfs on in the past and stuff like that, which have always done okay, even with bigger miles on. So I thought, sorry, I'll have a go at this, because if we mint this up, even though it's a diesel estate car, it's going to be like 22.5 grand territory, somewhere around there probably. Might be just a fraction over maybe. So it will probably sell because it will look very cheap, and I know we'll get loads of interest on it, but the mileage will end up putting probably 80% of people off. But there will be that one person who doesn't really care and thinks, do I go and buy an old petrol Astra estate, or go buy something like that, which might be a bit less miles on, that's a lot older, or do I buy something a bit more modern, that's, well, moderner, diesel, that's nicer to drive, and just, you know, pay that sort of money. So there'll be a man out there for that. And so he drives very well, although it does want a wheel bearing. And he does want a little bit on the bottom of the arch on the opposite side, a little bit of paint. So it's going to cost probably a couple £100, maybe, let's say it owns up £300 or £400, time with all the service kit bits. I might refurb the wheels, I might refurb them. I'll clean them up first because they're dirty. They've got a few marks on them, but they're just really dirty, so we'll see how they are. The worst case, if it ends up costing me £1,400-1,500, you've still got a grand, £1,100 in it, and we'll flog that easy. So you say it's not the bargain of the century, but there's money in it, and that's the main of the game. I've got to buy stuff to make money. Blimey, right. So earlier on in the video, you saw that we went to Prees. Let me give you an update on those vehicles. So I actually had down 3 vehicles that I was highest bidder on. 2 we purchased outright. One actually was provisional, forgot it was provisional, which was a Fiat 500, which you won't see any video or pictures of. So I'll describe it to you. It's a 15 plate, in purple, Fiat 500. It was roughly average miles, it was about 80,000, something like that. And it wasn't an alright car, but it needed a little bit of fettling. So it looked worse than it did. It was like, you know, like car wash marks everywhere, all over it, just scratchy, but not down to the paint. Didn't need paint, it just wanted a professional mop. It wanted going, flattening, just proper mopping, and a dent man on it to get 2 doors. The passenger door, 2 dents in it, which would have come out. So a couple £100, maybe £150 in buffing professionally, and paint. Sorry, and paint, there's dent removal. But I bidded, what did I bid for it? £1,900. Actually wanted to bid 18, when bid got took at 19 because a few hands went up at the same time. Provisional bid, they come back, they want 21 for it, which is bang on average money, and it is in average condition. But I see the car at £38.95, and the problem would be that at £2,100, it is going to be 24 time it lands to me with the fees, or just under, and then you've got to have to factor in another £150 straight away on your paint, dent removal, and the buff up. So that's like what, £25.50. It's got a dash fault, so the mileage is flashing on the clock, which is a Bluetooth problem, which is sort of like a module in the boot. It's got an airbag light on, which probably will be in a module again on those. So you're nearly £300 on those being sent away to be fixed. So all of a sudden you're near £3,000, and then you still haven't driven it or anything like that. And if it's got a bad box, that's it, your profit's gone. Which I'd say for every 5 you buy, one of them will have a bad box. So it's a big risk. And even if it only needed a couple £100 worth of remedial work after all that, which it needs, you're still on like tiny wages, and then you've got to pay that. So it's just really not worth bothering with, and I only see it at £38.95. So we've passed on that one. But we did win the Dacia, and we did win the Twingo. They're not bargains, either of them. They're both both of them I've paid slightly over cap clean for. The Dacia I expected to, because the Dacia Dusters always do more than cap clean, because they're just priced wrong in my view in the books, because you can't buy them at what the books suggest. So they always seem to be a fraction over, because they're just good, really cheap, good cars, and people want them. Dealers obviously want them to sell. So yeah, they always do slightly over. So I got that for a couple of grand, and there were some fees, and then there'll be little bits and bobs. But that's a tasty car, done 89,000 miles, 1.5 diesel. It's got the right mileage on it, a little bit of history. I mean, cracking thing to sell on here. So I'm looking forward to getting that back. And then we've got the Twingo, which was a bright thing. I think on the 13, it's probably the last of that run. I'm not sure when the Twingo went out of production, but I think it was around 13, 14 plate. But it's a nice colour, and we will sell that. It's a piss. We'll sell that easy because of the colour. And it'll just look really nice in the gateway. And I've got one spare anyway, so we can cobble one together, make it a nice car, and get rid of the other one, scrap that off as well, because that's been lingering around, and then make a bit of room and get something on sale as well. So I'm pleased with those 2. I say the Twingo I've given again slightly over money. I wanted to give about £900 for it, ended up coming at about 11 as well. So, but plus fees. So there's still an okay margin in it. So none of them are cheap, but it's January. You're going to have to pay a little bit more in January for cars, because every man and his dog wants to buy cars in January. So to round up the week, it's been reasonably okay for the conditions that we've been faced with. This weather for the last 2 or 3 days has just been awful, and it's just like, I mean, it's almost like someone just restricting your business by 50%. You just can't get stuff done. I mean, like that Merc earlier we saw on the video, where we got on the truck. It took us an hour to get that out, buried from the corner, get all the cars around it going and stuff because of the frost. And it's just, that's the constant problem we're having now, whilst this weather's going on. But it's going to turn next week. It's going to freshen up a bit, which means we can crack on and hopefully carry on trying to get more cars on sale, selling vehicles, and trying to hit a target this month. We're trying to get 15 sold, which doesn't sound a lot, but we're already small, so for us it's it's a nice little target. So anyway, thank you for watching this vlog. If you haven't seen my latest auction video, you'll be able to check it out on the end screen, or you can find it in the link description of our latest trip to G3 Bedford, along with some faces you've probably seen on YouTube as well who attended the sale. So make sure you check that one out because it's a good one. Thanks again, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one.